Have you got any concerns about the AstraZeneca jab and the problems that it appears to be having around blood clots in some European nations?
So far, the evidence looks like the rate of blood clots is sort of what you'd expect, given there's been 17 million people vaccinated with the AstraZeneca vaccine. So the blood clots are relatively common. What you have to look at is the age distribution of the people who have the clots, because clots are more common in older people than younger people. And what's happening is the two big surveillance agencies in Europe, the European Medicines Agency and the UK equivalent, are both looking at each case of the blood clots to say, are these just happened after the people had the vaccine, or are they related to the vaccine? And so far what they're saying is, they look like they're just ordinary prevalence of blood clots, and so they're not actually caused by the vaccine.
So these countries, Stephen, that are pressing pause on the rollout for now, are they just panicking?
Yeah, I think there are some countries that are more too trigger happy to pause the vaccine rollout. And what the European Medicines Agency said overnight was, look, we are looking at this, and we're looking at this really, really carefully, and there's a huge risk right now in Europe that you're going to die from COVID. And so, hang on, just don't be so trigger happy. And as I said, clots are relatively common. And, the Australian agency, the Therapeutic Goods Administration, has said, we've had no examples of blood clots in Australia after the vaccine. So, just hold your horses.
Yeah, I mean, I guess could you then say that by pressing pause on the vaccine is ultimately costing lives?
It's a really, really bad decision, I think, because basically there's already about 25, 30% of the Australian population are worried about the vaccine anyway, the so-called vaccine hesitancy. And, then they're saying, oh, this is even more of a reason to be hesitant. And, if we want to open the borders, we're going to have to make sure 70 or 80% of the people in Australia are vaccinated. And so, to contribute to a slowdown and to increase vaccine hesitancy, I think is a bad.
Okay, well, what do you make about the claims yesterday? From Matt Canavan, Pauline Hanson as well, Craig Kelly too. They believe that the rollout here from AstraZeneca should be paused. I see you laughing already.
Well, it's hard to see whether the Three Stooges have got really anything to contribute on this one. I mean, I don't think they've made a correct call on anything in their political lives. So, if I'm looking for medical advice, if I'm looking for health policy advice, these are not the three I'd go to.
Okay, let's go to Papua New Guinea. The health concerns there, it's a clear and present danger, the government is saying at the moment. What do you make of what's going on, the outbreak in PNG? At the moment, it's a 90% positive test rate for those who've taken a COVID test, which is quite staggering, isn't it?
Look, we have an obligation to our near neighbours, especially the Pacific Islands, and Papua New Guinea is in that boat, to make sure they get vaccinated as well. It's in our interest. I mean, you can walk from Papua New Guinea to some of the Queensland Islands. So, it is really, really close, and we have workers, mine workers who would otherwise have flown in from Papua New Guinea. It's in our interest to make sure to help them do their vaccine rollout. Now, Australia isn't a stellar performer on vaccine rollouts, I might add, but we should be providing vaccine to Papua New Guinea.
I mean, the health facilities in the first place are not that great, are they, in Papua New Guinea? And now you've got these frontline workers that are testing positive to COVID. It could well continue to run rampant.
Oh, yeah. So, I think our testing rate in Australia was, positive testing rate was a couple of percent at the worst. To hit 90% means that the whole population is infected, or, very, very high proportion of the population is infected. Even if infected, we need to boost immunity through the vaccination.
Okay, Stephen Duckett.
And a slow vaccination, slow rollout, slow transmission to other people as well.
Okay, Stephen Duckett, the Health Programs Director at the Grattan Institute. Thanks for your time.
Pleasure.